We're all quick to rag on WWE, and usually deservedly so, but let's go the other way for just 1 second, because I think they've earned some applause, because we are still in the fallout and the aftermath from this week's episode of Raw, and I enjoyed what they did at the end so much, I'm saying it was absolutely faboo. It ticked so many boxes, it was the opposite of my homework when I was a kid, and I just want to talk about it, so that's what I'm going to do right now, because I thought that ending was the best one we'd seen on Raw in years. Why? Here's why. The main reason is that it made you want to tune in next week. I mean, there have been episodes of Raw that finish and you just go, okay, well, I guess that's that. I should go and do something else. That was 180 minutes of my time I just invested, but you don't have an impetus to come back in 7 days. Now we do, because we're nerds and we're geeks and there's some kind of Pavlovian conditioning in our brain that means we just have to watch Raw, but I much prefer it when my guts and my heart and my bowels actually want to tune in. It's all about planting that seed, and with Buddy Murphy, that's what I think we have done, because in terms of kayfabe, in terms of the storyline, in terms of the narrative, this wasn't something that Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy had planned out from the beginning. Mr. Australia was just sat on the barricade being all like, oh, I'm really sad, mate, can't believe it. And Seth Rollins, who was in a predicament, saw a sad man, saw an advantageous situation, went, look, buddy, come and be my buddy, come and be my pal, come and be my friend, and together we can rule the universe. It's like He-Man. And I like that, and I like it a lot because it felt different. It wasn't your usually big heel turn angle that we see all the time, and they're fine, but again, spruce it up here and there. And also, what the hell is Buddy Murphy gonna say? What is his justification? Because I know he was playing the heel, but he wasn't like a super duper bad guy. Now, he's entering that territory because he is associated with this group. And talking of this faction, this is the reason that my loins are so fired up today. Because think about it, sit down, go and get a piece of paper, and write out the last time WWE did this. And I asked this question earlier, and someone went, League of Nations? The League of Nations does not count. The League of Nations was just 4 randomly picked guys that had already achieved some success, and WWE just threw them together because they weren't from America. Are you kidding me? Really, you've got to go back to something like Evolution before things start smelling familiar? Hey, that is exactly the kind of stuff WWE should be stealing for this, and they wouldn't be stealing because it's from their own book. They did it. Because the coolest thing about that stable is that it built one Randy Orton and it built one Batista, and boy howdy did they achieve that in droves. Randy Orton remains one of the biggest stars on both Raw and SmackDown. I mean, he kicked off Monday nights this week, and Batista, Big Dave with his thing, you know what I'm talking about, just got put into the Hall of Fame. And that was more than deserved. It all worked wonderfully, and you could actually say that Evolution broke up in 2005, because that's when we did have that WrestleMania match between Batista and Triple H, so I think we've waited long enough to just do that idea again. And there's all these people that say wrestling is cyclical, you wait 7 years and then you look at stories and you just repeat them. Well, it has been a lot longer than 7 years, so please just repeat it. Use Murphy as Batista, use Seth as Triple H, and just take your time and build, and hopefully turn Buddy Murphy into a proper main event player. Now, just because we do that doesn't mean it's 100% guaranteed to work, but I just want everyone to try. I mean, do you want the status quo to remain the same forever? Because if you do, it's going to be Roman Reigns winning Royal Rumbles and Roman Reigns winning titles at WrestleMania. Sometimes he'll close WrestleMania even when the world title isn't on the line. I already know how you feel about it, because you go on about it in the comments all the time, which you are allowed to do. And I totally get it, I understand. The fans have to buy into it first, but the fans can't buy into it until it is presented to them. It's like dinner. If you sit there and you're hungry, but you don't order any food, ain't no one going to walk to the door and give you some bread. Throwing more stuff on top of this too to justify my excitement, WWE has actually given us somewhat of a long-term story angle that not only had somewhat of a payoff, but also everybody likes it. Like, I know we've got Bobby Lashley and Lana and Rusev, but that thing is controversial at best. But I haven't seen that many people moaning about the association of Seth Rollins, AOP, and now Buddy Murphy. In fact, most of it is actually positive, and that scares me, because wrestling internet community is never positive, so now I look around my house assuming I'm about to be sniped. No, I'm not going to do it. The fact that Buddy Murphy's inclusion in all of this came off the back of a pretty damn good 3-match program with Aleister Black that I never saw coming, and yes, great, that's all I need. Plus, it makes sense, and my word, do I appreciate that. I mean, Mojo Rawley's blue goop, that just vanished. I mean, who was the guy that grabbed Roman Reigns' foot on SmackDown? Nobody ever told us about that now, did they? All of Baron Corbin? See, exactly. Now you are starting to understand where I'm coming from. Above all else, I just want WWE to stay the course now and see what they can actually achieve. And there have been some good signs in regard to this. I mean, take Seth Rollins. Nobody thought that even when fans were going, boo, Seth Rollins, you suck, your Twitter game is terrible, that WWE would actually turn him heel. And yet here we are in January 2020, and Seth Rollins is one of the biggest and best heels that they have. So if we do remain patient, we may be able to bring back some of that gold from the past. And you do need to give Seth Rollins' group a name and probably some matching attires just so they feel like a big deal. But I just am genuinely amazed that, again, here I am talking to you in early 2020, and Akam is being pushed, Razor is being pushed, Buddy Murphy is being pushed, Aleister Black is being pushed. I mean, in some ways, Ricochet is being pushed. Drew McIntyre finally seems like he's about to get a push. Even the Viking Raiders aren't treated like chumps. Like, I don't really understand the tag team division in WWE, but they won the Raw titles in October of 2019. October. That's like 3 months, and 3 months in WWE is like dog years, so they may as well have been champions for 22 years. I just felt like when Raw was done and dusted, I actually had the motivation to want to tune in next week, and there was a time, especially in the latter part of 2018, where I don't think that was the case. And I know that the ending was helped by bits in the middle between Brock Lesnar and R-Truth, who are damn heroes, but that's just more evidence that, fingers crossed, Raw is headed in the right direction. And it's always going to be somewhat of a slog because it is 3 hours long, and as we have said over and over again, nothing is good for 3 hours. Cue the guy in the comments that says he wants to have sex for 3 hours. Cue my always retort of, no you don't. Your penis would be so dry at the end of it, you wouldn't know what was going on. 3 hours is a no-no all around. But when we compare this 3 hour Raw to other 3 hours Raws, it's a round of applause. Plus, there was no Shane McMahon, no wild card, no random 2 out of 3 falls matches just because we want to appease the wonderful thing known as the ad break. It's just better. I'm not saying it's perfect. It's not perfect at all. There's still things that we can do. But here we are on what? January 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, whatever day you decide to watch this. And that Raw is a step up. That Raw was an improvement. That's why I felt like I should stand here and shout it out. And that's what I've done. I'll do it again. Now, of course, I look forward to it being run into the ground next week and me looking like the bald asshole that I am. But that's the beauty of life. You can stand here and you can get excited on one day and then a week later look back on your life and go, I made a massive mistake there. What a fool I am. But this is some excitement to this because we are in Royal Rumble season, and WWE by and large always do a good job with the Royal Rumble. When we come out the other side of the Rumble, it's the road to WrestleMania. So maybe at least for 4 months, and I will take those 4 months, we're going to be in for some good WWE programming. And as a final aside, I actually think a lot of this influence has come from Paul Heyman. So while the Eric Bischoff experiment didn't work out, at least the former ECW head honcho has done what he went in there to do. Again, I know we had the stuff with Bobby Lashley and Lana and Liv Morgan, but I'll take lots of good if I have to put up with some crazy over here. Oh wait, there's one other cool thing about everything that WWE did on Monday Night Raw that's got me all ramped up. Who else is going to join Seth Rollins' group? Now, you don't want to go too crazy. I don't want to make it like the NWO. At one point, you had 42 people in the ring. You're like, I don't even know who the guy with the beard is, for goodness sake. But maybe if you think about it just a little bit and add a couple of future stars, everything is going to be okay. Take someone like Andrade, for example. When he's done with his Rey Mysterio feud and he is still the US champion, you could put him in there. Does he need it? Nah, maybe not. But if that group does do well, he's only going to benefit. And hey, Liv Morgan eventually is going to be done with everything we've already talked about. You put her in there, it just gives her something a little bit different and tells the audience, you should care maybe just a teeny bit more about this person. We are going to push her to the moon. And as you know, if you watch my videos before, I like the moon. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about last night's episode of Raw, because I already know there are plenty of people that massively disagree with me. You were all over my Twitter earlier going, well, I didn't see one highlight in the show, Simon. You are a piece of trash. And that's fine. That's what my mum says to me. So why can't you say that to me as well? Then like the video, share the video, subscribe to What Culture Wrestling. Then head over to whatculture.com where you can read articles like this with your eyes rather than hear them with your ears. Follow What Culture on Twitter, What Culture WWE. Watch more videos here on What Culture Wrestling, such as Ups and Downs for Raw, where you can get my segment-by-segment analysis about this episode of Raw. My name is Simon from What Culture, and I am excited about 2020 wrestling, even though there's so much contention in the wrestling world right now. Like, people watched Dynamite last week and some thought it was fine, some thought it was the worst thing ever. Now it's happening with Raw. Everybody seems to love NWA Power overall. And I'm not sure about Impact. But then, oh my gosh, then people were mad about Ring of Honor because Marty Scurll re-signed with them. How dare you do well for yourself, Marty, and sign a deal that makes you loads of money and gives you creative control. I mean, what a dang idiot. Am I right? Yeah, I'm right. Look, put a smile on your face. Enjoy it. Everything will be okay. Once again, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your love. I appreciate your hate. I just appreciate you engaging with me. Got sniped, just in case it wasn't clear.